What's up, everybody? It's Jason Cruz here once again with another episode of The Legal Submission. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about the ongoing struggle for documents in the Kajan Johnson antitrust lawsuit against Zuffa. And in this case, what we're going to be talking about today is Dominance MMA LLC, which is the agency run by Ali Abdelaziz, who has many of the top stars in the UFC. In the antitrust lawsuit, the plaintiffs in the lead lawsuit have served a subpoena on Abdelaziz Ali's agency seeking information, specifically his cell phone records, as well as other information concerning negotiations that the agency had with the UFC. The relevancy of this for the purposes of the antitrust lawsuit is to determine whether or not there were contractual terms negotiated between the parties there in the lawsuit. So one of the things with the Kajan Johnson lawsuit, as well as the Mikhail Serkinov lawsuit, is the issue of the contractual terms, the waivers, the arbitrations clauses that were included in some of the fighters' contracts. So the subpoena was served on Dominance MMA. There has been an ongoing fight about the documents, specifically relating to on Dominance side the privacy issues concerning what they may turn over to the third parties, which would be Zuffa as well as the plaintiffs. Now, if you are Dominance MMA, you want to protect the privacy rights of your fighters, specifically with respect to personal information, as well as the contractual negotiations that may or may not have gone on with respect to the fighters' respective contracts. Now, where we are at in this specific discovery fight is that plaintiffs have filed a motion to compel Dominance to provide documents. Dominance has pushed back on that as well. Their attorneys have pushed back, stating that they were ready to work with plaintiffs, but they had serious concerns as far as, one, again, the privacy issues, as well as the costs that may be incurred related to that. Now, there has been at least two court hearings with Judge Boulware, who is, as we know, the judge that was in charge of the Kong Lee antitrust lawsuit against Zuffa. And Judge Boulware had indicated that the parties should work together, came out with the order of things to be produced, as well as came up with a template as far as the amount of money that Dominance was expected to expend in this document production. Now, they had indicated a number of $10,000. This is thinking about this. This is more than just turning over documents that you might have in a file cabinet. This is more of an electronic discovery of information in databases. It's a lot more complex than you would think would occur, but basically they're requesting records, cell phones, things of that nature. And to do that, they have to go through a third-party vendor who will have all this information documented down and delivered in multiple tranches, or what they would say is just files or whatnot. Notwithstanding all of that happening, they still have on Dominance ends, they have to have some sort of review as far as what they are sending over to the third parties, because of course this now becomes open to third parties, plaintiffs and the UFC, as well as potentially other people. While this stuff is confidential, things may be leaked out, and I'm sure that's one of the things that the attorneys for Dominance is concerned with. Now, plaintiffs obviously want these documents and potentially cannot move forward with a lawsuit, with the lawsuit and prosecuting their case against Zuffa once again. So there's a huge fight related to this, and what has occurred is a motion for attorney's fees and costs on the part of the plaintiffs because there was a deadline to disclose documents. The deadline had passed without obtaining those documents, and therefore plaintiffs feel that they have been wrong. Now, the amount of money that they are seeking from Dominance is over $260,000, which includes a log of from their attorneys and paralegals. They state that they spent over 286 hours on the work from a time period from August 2025 till April 2026. Joseph Saveri, who was also very much involved in the Kung Lee case, here had billed probably over 58 hours in dealing with this discovery dispute with Dominance. Now, that's just a third party. That's not even dealing with any discovery documents that they're seeking from Zuffa. So there's that. There's attorneys. There's paralegals that were involved. So now, in response, Dominance argues that that's way too much. That plaintiffs are not entitled to over $260,000 in costs and fees related to the alleged violation of the court order, which plaintiffs had stated that the documents were supposed to be produced pursuant to a court order. Now, Dominance argues that they are working with a vendor on producing documents. In fact, they had recently produced documents at the beginning of April, including the phone records of Ali Abdelaziz, and so Dominance argues back that that plaintiffs are not entitled to that amount of money. They drove up the hours seeking to recoup them from Dominance, and in reality, according to Dominance's opposition to the motion, should have only expended maybe 10 to 15 hours. Now, 15 to 20 hours is what they say in their opposition brief. So they argue that the attempt to expand on the amount of time to work on the request by including time periods in which Dominance was working with plaintiffs in an attempt to comply with the subpoena. So Dominance is saying, they shouldn't include the time they worked on the matter during times when Dominance was attempting to work with plaintiffs on producing these documents. So they allege that the hours that plaintiffs have sent to the court saying they worked on this should not be counted because Dominance was working with them on the particular matter. So Dominance is arguing that, hey, we were trying to work with plaintiffs. Why are they trying to bill us for work that they were going to do anyway? So there is that. Plaintiffs have come back and stated that the Dominance attorneys had not produced the documents in time, as well as the fact that they are still missing items that were supposed to be produced. So again, courts do not like to be involved in these discovery disputes because it's always he said, she said, he said, all of that good stuff. as well as the fact that this is very expensive discovery litigation. This isn't just somebody handing over their notebook. It's more along the lines of you have to hire a third party. They have to get up to speed on the documents. The documents have to be scanned in, or whatever other technology they need to do to produce the documents, as well as going through and ensuring that there's confidentiality that is still protected, meaning that you can't just turn over a fighter's social security number. That has to be protected. Things like that have to be redacted. I'm sure things like social security numbers, addresses of fighters, addresses of family members, things of that nature probably should be protected, and Dominance is probably arguing the fact that this information takes time to redact as well as produce. Now, there's always back and forth in discovery fights, and being a third party really sucks, specifically because there is nothing that Dominance is going to gain in this lawsuit. Maybe the fighters that Ali represents or Dominance represents will obtain, a lawsuit of, a settlement or money from the antitrust lawsuit eventually. But Dominance as an entity itself is only really losing money on this particular discovery request and lawsuit because they're not even a party. Once again, it's a third party. So that's it from now. We expect to probably hear something back from the court soon, whether it's a matter of setting new timelines as to when things were supposed to be sent to each other, or whether or not someone needs to pay money to the other. We will see. This is Jason Cruz on YouTube. It's The Legal Submission. Also, MMApayout.com. Have a good day.